Just to recap, the Texas State win. Proud of our guys for responding to the off week well. Thought we had to shake a little bit of rust off from the offense and defense, really. The first couple drives, offense came out, scored a touchdown on the first drive, but then kind of stalled out a little bit. The defense was on its heels a little bit in the throw game, but we forced a turnover on the first drive and then gave up a touchdown on the second or third drive. But then I think we got settled in, and once we were settled in and stopped making some self-inflicted mistakes, we executed pretty well. So proud of that, proud of our defense for the 4 turnovers, and excited at the progress they're making, as well as the offense. I think the offense still has a little bit farther to go than the defense, but we're making progress. Injury update, Adam Schultz has torn his ACL from an MRI standpoint. We'll have surgery either this week or next week. Hate that for him. He has, ever since he's arrived here in January, he has done everything that we've asked of him and more, and has been an extremely dedicated worker and a great elder statesman, if you will, a guy that's been around college football for a long time and has been a good leader and mentor. And as I said yesterday, that he just, as soon as he is healthy enough to kind of move around a little bit, the only thing he did was go from player Schultz to Coach Schultz. So we're going to make sure that we travel him with us and that he sticks around in that quarterback meeting room, and because he provides a lot of leadership and mentorship for Greg and Kyle. So, but disappointed in that. Howard Wilson has a sprained MCL, kind of day to day. He's getting an MRI on that today, but did not participate in practice yesterday. And as of this morning, kind of, again, just day to day, nothing too long term, it doesn't appear, but we'll know more after the MRI. Obviously, the injury to Adam moves Kyle Postma back into the quarterback meeting room, where we now lose him then at the receiver position, which is a shame because we're not very deep there. But in the 2 deep right now, backing up DeMarcus Ayers will be Donald Gage, young man that's continuing to make very small steps at improvement, but he is improving. And then we're going to rep Ryan Jackson, not the full offense. He's not going to learn the full offense at H, but enough to where if DeMarcus breaks a shoelace or gets banged up for any reason, that we could put him in, and he is capable of doing some things on the perimeter. So with that, I will open it up for questions.
Coach, the offense has already started putting up kind of gaudy numbers. You're averaging 591 yards over the course of the 3 games, and you've started extremely strong by scoring on your first offensive drive every single game. Do you see those numbers staying up throughout the season as you move along, or do you see kind of like maybe a little bit of a different game plan?
I hope they do. That's the plan. Now, whether we can sustain that level of play, we again, it's a long season, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and the season is a long season, and guys get dinged up. A lot of different circumstances happen that would go into dictating that. But the plan is, if we're putting up yards and scoring points, I think that's always a good thing. And the neat thing is that we have not played a really great game from a fundamental standpoint, even against Texas State. We've got some really good players on offense, and I think they mask some of the mistakes sometimes that are made. So you'd like to see them play a little bit more fundamentally sound. And then, again, really, and this is certainly no knock on who we played, but I think the true barometer was against Louisville, and a top 10 defense in the country, and it took us a while to get going against them. So, but we're better too. So I don't know. I'm not a soothsayer by any stretch of the imagination, but the plan is for them to continue playing like that.
What kind of growth and progress have you seen from your receiving core from the start of fall camp to now?
Well, they're blocking better, which is always a plus. I think they're buying into, if we're going to run the ball and throw play action pass, you got to do the first one first, and that's run the football. And I think they kind of understand that, hey, if I do my job and I am extremely physical in the run game and assignment sound in the run game, then the passing yards are going to be there. If I don't do my job, it's a lot harder to throw the ball against a defense that's expecting a pass. And so, that's kind of the mentality that we take, is that we want to be a downhill run team on first and second down with some play action pass mixed in. So they've gotten better in that area, and they've gotten better after the catch. You saw Steve with a nice run after the catch, and Chance, had a great double move on the first touchdown. So they're getting better in terms of kind of learning the intricacies of playing wide receiver, and really those DeMarcus, Chance, and Steve, and really Isaiah to a certain extent were not my concern. My concern was 5, 6, 7, and 8, and so much so that we had to move our third-string quarterback to receiver. And so now that we don't have that luxury anymore, those guys have to, it's big fly. Those guys have to grow up, and they've got to grow up in a hurry. And they're getting there. Like I said, with Donald Gage is slowly but surely showing signs of life. Slowly but surely showing signs of life, which is encouraging.
Just to follow up on Gage, it's a guy who came in and he had two knee injuries. Has it been an injury that's slowed him or kept him back, or is it dealing with just the offense?
The offense, yeah. He's been fine physically since we got him. It's been his commitment to understanding the offense and being assignment sound and perfect in his assignments, and then going out and not just knowing what to do, but how to do it and why we're doing it. And there's a few things that he can say he's achieved that on right now, but still has got a long way to go in terms of the entire offense.
Receivers, was Bonner available?
Was not. No, had a hamstring injury, and should be good to go this week. If he did not pull it, what it was described to me as really, 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 really tight and sore, and on the verge of probably getting pulled. And so, rather than risk that and try to have him fight through it, the best option was for him to rest and rehab, and we think that he'll be good to go for tomorrow's practice.
And has it been a matter of with Tyreek, just again you've talked all along about him grasping the offense. Is that the
Nothing's
reason
changed there? Yeah,
Okay.
that's.
he hasn't. I don't think he's played in the last what?
No, he hasn't. Just the last 2 games. Correct. Yeah.
I know it affects both positions and everything, but for the big picture, does it affect one position as far as depth more than the other, maybe the receiver position, or what?
Really big picture, if we're looking beyond this year, it doesn't affect it a whole lot. Adam was a tremendous backup quarterback, probably could have started at a lot of different places. So it affects us this year tremendously in both those rooms, because he was such a capable backup should something happen to Greg, and then obviously we were afforded the luxury of then moving Kyle. But in the long term, no, we've got Greg for 1 more year. After this, we've got Kyle for 2 more years, and then we've signed or we're going to sign a high school quarterback, and so feel pretty good about the future of that position, but it's really the immediacy where it affects us the most.
Yeah, I guess I meant sort of big picture and stuff for what you guys are doing on the field right now.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think, when you talk about, I'm sure you're probably getting at, do you protect Greg more? The answer is no. We got to run our offense. Our offense has been pretty good through 3 games, and he's done a good job of managing it and tried to cut his carries down. In the Texas State game, I think he only had 8, and I think 3 of those were on scrambles, and maybe 4 of them. And in my opinion, they were scrambles that were brought on by himself. He kind of missed some guys and then took off running. Where if he can get the ball out on time into the right place, then he's winding up with 4 or 5 carries a game, which I think is very manageable.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the fan base? They stayed throughout the entire game when y'all were just dominating there at the end, and their energy seemed to really kind of lift up everybody's spirits in the entire stadium.
Our students did. I wouldn't say the fan base stayed the entire game. I looked up a couple times there in the fourth quarter. There weren't a ton of people there.
Yeah, I mean, but they were going bananas over there in that end zone.
Yep.
Can you just talk about what that means to you, as a coach, watching the fan base just go bonkers out there?
I think the students have heeded the call. We've challenged them here at the University of Houston. Both myself and our administration and Dr. Couture have challenged our students that we've got whatever it is, 42,000 students, that to say that we can't get 8,000 raucous, screaming, school-spirited fans and students in the stands for 7 Saturdays a year, I think would be a travesty. And so they have heeded our call. They've been an extremely large source of energy and inspiration for our team. And as has been documented, we touch a sign on our way out onto the field every game with the names of thousands of our students on there, and I think they're understanding that we truly do play for them, and we're an extension of our student body.
Tom, when looking at the Tulsa offense, what is it that makes them so effective, especially in the passing game and some of the strategies and the important things the defense is going to have to do in order to try and contain that?
Well, the thing they do well is it's very, very much like Baylor, as you would expect. So on first and second down, you're going to see receivers split all the way out to the sideline, and they're going to kind of test the waters, if you will. And if you're covering those guys that far, split out that wide, if there's 2 receivers and you commit 3 defenders to them, that leaves a whole lot of space to run the football inside. And then if you're going to commit to the run and leave guys singled up outside, then they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to max protect. And, a lot of people look at Baylor's offense and Tulsa's offense, and they say, well, they're throwing for all these yards. They must be getting all these guys out in these routes and these complex routes. They're really not. It's all based off the play-action pass and a numbers count, and if you're going to commit to the run, they're going to 7-man protect, keep the tight end and the running back in, and throw 3 receiver routes, and understand that their guys are going to try to beat basically man coverage at that point. And they've got a tremendous wide receiver. I think I saw some, couple different draft projections had him as one of the top 5 wide receivers coming out that are draft eligible. And so we're going to have our hands full with him, and the quarterback's a good player. And then again, because there's most of their throwing yards are coming on first and second down in that kind of play action 7-man protection world, it's hard to get pressure. The last time I checked, if you want to get a guy free, truly free against a 7-man protection, that means you got to bring 8. And so I don't know many defenses that are committed to bringing 8 guys at the quarterback on first and second down. And so we're going to have to win some one-on-one matchups up front in the pass rush game, and we're going to have to be very multiple is not the right word, but very disguise oriented, I think, in our defensive philosophy, and we've got to make them think that the run is outnumbered and throw a pass, and when really we're trying to defend the pass, and vice versa. Hey, the pass is outnumbered, let's run the ball, but really we've got the numbers inside to handle the run. So very it's kind of funny because, again, Baylor and Tulsa, you look at them and you see these gaudy numbers and you think, my gosh, this must be the most complex offense in the history of offenses, and it's actually one of the most simple, and they rely on their tempo. Obviously, they want to get your D linemen tired. They want to get guys out of place. They'll sprinkle in some unusual formations and really spread the width of the field tremendously in their wide receiver splits. They keep skipping you, bro.
Coach, you talked about the defense forcing turnovers. William Jackson just won Conference Defensive Player of the Week. If you could talk about his impact in the last game.
Oh, it's huge. You know, I go back, and William's a great player, but again, I go back to our coaching staff and the job that they did. The pick six that he had, when I talked to him after the game, he said, Coach, I knew exactly what play they were going to run because they were in such and such formation. The back was set here. I was looking at the QB's feet. I could tell it was going to be quick game, and he jumped the route. And to me, the kid doesn't learn that himself. He doesn't pick that up himself. He's taught that, and that's a credit to the defensive staff for putting him in, or giving him the tools, the mental tools necessary to diagnose the pass route and be able to jump the route. And again, Williams, a tremendous player. The next level kind of recognition that he's getting, I think, is merited. And we'll find out this week because he's going to have a tough assignment, and the receiver there from Tulsa. But I think he'll be up to the challenge.
Tom, back on your defense, the line, it would seem with the change in schemes, the front three are now more, you look at the run yardage totals that they haven't allowed, and the numbers aren't there, and it's, I guess, more linebacker number-wise. But, I mean, what can you say about those guys up front that have limited opponents the last 3 weeks?
Well, I want to say publicly, especially a guy like B.J. Singleton. B.J. Singleton is a guy that is an NFL player himself, will get a chance at the next level, and has very unselfishly moved to nose guard. He's playing a ton of nose guard for us, and by the nature of our defensive scheme, the nose guard isn't going to make a ton of plays. Maybe a tackle for a loss here or there, or slip by a combo block and tackle the running back. But their job is to eat up blocks up front and allow our linebackers to play. And knock on wood, right now they're doing a heck of a job with that. And I'd be remiss. BJ's obviously doing a fantastic job. For a guy, I mean, you look at the stat sheet, I don't even know if he had any stats, but he sure as heck did in our team meeting and defensive meetings. He had he had an assist on every one of those tackles that E-Rob and Steve Taylor made. He might not have put an arm on the ball carrier, but he certainly had an assist in what they were doing. And then again, Nick Thurman and Tommy Mark and Cam Malvo continue to provide a lot of support for those linebackers to be able to run around a little bit.
Bowser has 3 sacks, 3 straight games. You had mentioned in the spring just kind of how you wanted to bring him along and develop him.
He's gotten better, yeah. Short-circuited a few times assignment-wise in the game, which is a bit uncommon. He's a very cerebral guy. He's a smart kid. But other than that, he is, from the time we got here in January to now, he's a different guy when it comes to effort and physicality. Tremendous job by our coaching staff in kind of instilling that culture in them. And, he's a guy that if he continues on this trajectory is going to be really fun to watch towards the end of this season and on into next. Good? All right. Thank you. Go Cougs.